Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We rented movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained as pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the favorite bit by bit. Sweety and Sweety are here to say it's the Large Marge Santa's podcast. Hey.
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Santa's podcast, your favorite podcast where two Sweety sisters talk about their favorite flicks from childhood. I'm Sweety with a Y.
And I'm Sweety with an IE.
And today, Sweeties are recording in different places.
Far apart, but not really. Just a couple miles.
Sweetie thinks I have an infectious disease and doesn't want to be in the same room as me because she's going on a trip this weekend, even though I told her I'm pretty sure I don't. But
yeah,
whatever.
Long story short, we had some barf issues last night, so I thought it would be best for Sweetie to be quarantined for, at least a day. What is it? 48 hours just to make sure that shit isn't contagious? Because, I don't want the fucking stomach bug, dude.
It's not a stomach bug.
Well, just in case it is, whatever. And also, guys, this is a good exercise for us because, if we want to continue this podcast, there might be times when we're not going to be able to be in the same room recording. And I know a lot of our fellow podcasters don't even live in the same city as their co-host. So we've been super fortunate to have our schedule work out and to be able to watch movies together and record together. But guys, it's not always going to be the case.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
much to my chagrin.
Yeah.
So this will be fun. I hope the sound isn't totally bonkers, but
no, we did it right.
We'll do our best. I hope so, man. I was nervous. Trigger finger.
Oh my
finger.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay. So we are coming off of a hiatus, which is something we don't usually do, but we were really tired last week and we had a lot of shit to do. So it had to happen. And then we were like, don't worry, guys. We'll be back next week with an episode on Angels in the Outfield. What? And we were all excited. And then I go to the TV and I enter in Angels in the Outfield and nothing comes up. You know what came up? Rookie of the Year. I was like, listen, already saw that one. And we compared that they were basically the same movie, but a little different. But
you know what came up? The old Angels in the Outfield. Apparently, Angels in the Outfield is a reboot of this old movies from the 1950s. Crazy.
Ooh,
so that's everywhere, literally on streaming on every platform. And you're like, who wants to watch this movie?
Yeah.
I want the movie with Tony Danza. But yeah, guys, so weird. It's so strange how some movies are just you just cannot find. I don't know what is the deal with that. Why literally no platform can stream them. Did I don't know, Tony Danza say I'm embarrassed by this movie and I don't want this shown anywhere? What?
Some rights thing, some digital rights kerfuffle. I don't know.
Maybe the Angels, the actual
Christopher Lloyd?
LA. What's the team? Anaheim Angels?
Yeah. Or wasn't it the LA?
Wait.
Los Angeles?
Is there a team called the Angels?
I thought so.
Let's stop talking about baseball.
Yeah.
Because today's not about baseball, guys.
Nope.
What is it about,
now
Sweetie?
It's about basketball. Because we needed a different movie, and I was like, hey, what about Space Jam? So, it fits. You know what? It's basketball season. Totally makes sense, right?
Yeah, totally.
So we watched Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got a real jam going now. Welcome to the Space Jam.
Do your dance, take a chance, it's the Space Jam. That's my favorite part of that song. So
Quad
side
City
point, I've never seen this movie.
Wait, what?
Fun fact, guys. Never seen the thing all the way through. However, I'm super familiar with the soundtrack because it was
oh my God.
super big.
Well, no, because I owned it and listened
that's
to it
why.
constantly and made up 8 different dances to it.
Oh, totally. All I was waiting for was that Monica song, which is only in the credits and the very end of the credits. I had to watch all of the credits.
I didn't even hear. What is it? Which one is it?
What? For you, I will.
Oh, okay.
For you, I will put my life on the line.
That's weird.
That one?
No, I
No?
don't remember.
I love Monica.
Don't remember. No, but no. My favorite
Yeah.
is you hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high. Oh my god, I made the
Hit him
best.
low, hit him low, hit him low.
I made up the best dance to that song. I wish I still remembered it, but man, was it good at the concert in my bedroom.
You probably did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know what I was doing in 1996, but I, was aware of this movie. Obviously, it was like gigantic, but I never saw the whole thing like all the way through. So this was like a fun little romp for me. I had a good time.
Well, I'll tell you, it's every cat's favorite movie. Because
Cats?
Yeah. I told you, your cat, Emily's cat, Moosh, real name April. One time I was watching this when we lived together and she was enamored by it and would like not look away from the screen because there's like animation on it. So if you ever like play a video game and your cat freaks out and is like trying to like swat Mario or whatever, it's the same basic concept.
Well, Moosh is a different girl tonight because she did not wake up from her 20th cat nap of the day.
She was too tired. She can't. It's too bad. But yeah, so what year did you say? 96?
96.
Okay. So listen, the 90s and basketball was like the shit. Like, wow. All the boys in my school had Chicago Bulls paraphernalia, jackets, etc., etc.
So, okay, this was my initial question and my first note upon watching this movie. Has there been a, let's even say, overall athlete that was as much as like all-encompassing popular as Michael Jordan was? Because like you're exactly what you said. All the kids were obsessed with him. Everyone wore Chicago Bulls shit. Like, it was huge. It didn't seem like any of the team loyalty that like we kind of have now with sports teams, where it's like, you are a little kid from Boston and like you probably, I know a lot of kids like Steph Curry and he's like a Golden State Warrior, right? But like not even approaching like this level of the Michael Jordan where like every kid, no matter where they were from, were like, my favorite player is Michael Jordan. And you're like wearing all the Bulls stuff, I don't think there's been like a player since then that really has been able to do that.
I mean, not to us. We're very removed from the sports world. We're not in school anymore, so we're not in elementary school, so we don't see like, well, what are the kids like these days?
Or like, is LeBron that like level of popularity, you think?
I think he's that level of like superstardom.
Yeah.
Certainly on his way to more, I'm sure. But I don't know. I don't know what the kids like. I'm pretty sure the kids just like Tom Brady. I don't know.
Yeah, but like Tom Brady is so like but like only people who like Tom Brady are from New England. You're not going to see like a little kid in fucking like California. Like, no, it's, I mean, that's the thing. That's what I'm comparing it to, because you have someone who is like let's say the Michael Jordan of football, and like he's not as well regarded, it seems like, as Michael Jordan was, who was really like such a massive figure on a pop culture scale, I mean, he was the MJ of sports world, like Michael Jackson, like if you go to like the mountains of Russia and they like do not even have like basically are like third world countries, they probably know who Michael Jordan is, right? Like that level of like, superstardom. Exactly. So, but what I find interesting about this movie, and I totally didn't know about it until I watched it, was this movie is essentially like a Michael Jordan biography. I mean, it's like exactly what happened to him.
Yeah, he definitely got sucked down a golf hole and had to play.
Not that part, because what I did watching this entire movie was like go through the Wikipedia, and I was like, holy shit, all this stuff really happened.
You didn't
like,
know
he really played
baseball? You didn't know that?
He really didn't do that. I did know that, but like I looked at his stats and stuff. That was the same exact team he played for, which was like a team
minor league of the White Sox.
Yeah, exactly. The Barons or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then he really did like retire and then came back.
Yeah.
And like he didn't, and I was reading all this stuff. It was actually kind of fascinating. He like came back and they had already retired his number 23, right? Mm-hmm. So then he's like, okay, I'll use my baseball number 45. And he did like okay, but like not that well. So then he was like, screw that, I'm going back to my old number. And then like the Bulls got fined like some like extravagant amount of money because they didn't like let the NBA know like so many hours in advance that they were like switching numbers, and then he got fined money too.
Oh my god. Well,
Right.
I'm sure he could afford it, so he's fine.
And then the guy retired again.
Yeah.
And then he came back again.
He's retired like 3 times. No big deal. He just
I know.
he couldn't decide what he wanted to do with his life. And then he's like, I'll make Space Jam and then I'll be fine. And then I'm sure after that it was done, right? I don't know.
No, he like retired. He came back. I forget whatever he played for, like the Wizards or something like that.
Yeah.
That was like the next comeback.
That was his last.
Anyway, fascinating fella. Also seems to have a slight gambling addiction. Whoa. I learned so much stuff about Michael Jordan.
Also
it was,
on
like,
Wikipedia,
crazy.
very good.
I know.
But Mike's so cool, and
He is
those
really cool.
the shots of him in the beginning playing at whether like UNC or on the Bulls or the Dream Team were just like, weren't you just like, wow, he's really good?
No, the guy was awesome. He's like so iconic, and he's so like like amazing looking, like I guess you want to say.
Well-
as all basketball players are, with their being so tall, and like obviously they have like really nice bodies and stuff like that. And he had this like very iconic shaved head. He like started shaving his head, and everyone was like, whoa, and, like. He's just so impressive, and obviously the guy is like talent, like so much talent, and he seems like a cool dude, like a nice guy.
I hope so.
I know.
I don't know. We'll find out maybe someday if something comes out, which it hasn't yet, except for this gambling stuff. Who cares?
I know, that was like kind of weird. But yeah, so Michael Jordan, yada yada yada. Second of all, Warner Brothers cartoons.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like watching this, I really did not appreciate Warner Brothers cartoons when I could have, like, as a little
What?
kid.
Really?
Because those things are like brilliant. And
Yeah.
there's such a battle of cartoons, right? Because you're like, you grow up with the Looney Tunes, and we did watch a lot of Looney Tunes, right?
I watched a ton of Looney Tunes.
I know.
The class,
And,
like the old ones on
the
Saturday
old
morning or
ones
whatever.
are
Yeah.
awesome, and they're so clever, and like the way all that was done, like the Wile E. Coyote thing is like one of my favorite things of all times. I still think that is like the funniest thing
Oh my
ever.
God, I never knew.
What? I think it's so funny. I could watch that like all day, every day. It is hilarious. Like all the little stunts, and I love like when he like gets blown up into the sky, and he goes, "Woohoo!"
Which is weird because he doesn't talk. So
I know, but he makes that one noise. Gets me every time.
Yeah.
Though there's some Warner Brother characters that I'm not like kind of annoy me, and I do not think are funny at all. We'll go into it.
Oh, good. Okay. I was severely into Tiny Toons,
You were.
which
I remember that.
was like the little show on. Was that on Nickelodeon? No, I don't know.
No,
But
wasn't
it
it
was
on
great.
whoever showed like all the Bugs
No.
Bunny's cartoons?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But love that. But yeah, love those tunes. Love them. Love them.
I don't even have to ask you who your favorite tune is because I know.
I was obsessed with the Tasmanian Devil.
Yep.
And I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I just really liked him a lot. I thought he was funny. I think Sweety and I talked about this off mic one time. But I think my actual reason I liked him was because there was a cartoon like about Taz and his family called like Tasmania
Yeah,
or something.
Remember that.
And I think I really liked that, and that's why I like Taz so much. But yeah, I had all the Taz. I had a Taz hat. Really memorable story where we left it in Boston one time, stopped the bus, made everybody get off, go
Yep,
find the
yep.
hat. It was great.
Yep, it was big.
Yeah,
Good
this
story,
was the
good
time.
story.
This was the time. This was
Yeah,
the age
I
of
know
the Taz.
this was the Taz time. But yeah, I mean, what a like brilliant concept mixing, which were obviously two huge things in the '90s, as you just said, basketball, and then you had like Looney Tunes. I mean, that's kind of like a brilliant mix, and I guess it was all sort of based off of they did commercials, I guess, with like Bugs Bunny,
Yeah.
and Michael Jordan. So that like the idea kind of like stemmed from that, and then I guess they decided to make this like kind of full feature. And sounded like it was a good time. I mean, I think kids went bananas for this, if I recall
yeah.
correctly.
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember where I first saw it. I probably saw it in the theater. I don't know. But yeah, we all loved it. All the boys loved it. Like
Yeah.
it was like it was a flick. It was the flick of the year or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and like good like adult roles too. I mean, you put Bill Murray in anything, like that's gonna be fucking funny.
Yeah.
All the other basketball players that they featured, great. Again, like Michael Jordan was huge in the '90s, but also there was all those other guys who were like also really big that you also recognize, which was like really cool.
Yes.
I was like, Patrick Ewing, yeah. Man, that guy is a monster. Holy
I
crap.
love Pat.
Oh my God, Charles Barkley, hilarious. I
love
didn't know like some of the other guys. Well, Muggsy Bogues, I always remember him.
Muggsy.
but, like,
He's the same height that I am. Can you believe that?
I know.
He's
I mean, he had
5'3".
the skills. Larry Bird, Avi. Who else? Newman.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Wayne Knight. Newman from
Yeah.
Seinfeld. Yep. Pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Pretty great.
Um,
And Danny DeVito, the voice of the evil monster boss.
I know. Really looks just like him.
Good one. But yeah, lots of power in this. Plus,
Yeah.
Bugs, the star of the Tunes, Bugs Bunny.
I never
Sweety
really
hates him. Oh
Bugs
my God,
Bunny.
you hate Bugs Bunny.
I mean, I really appreciate them injecting a new, because there's not really like, think about it, any female lead Looney Tunes, right?
Now I'm like Tiny Toons, Babs Bunny. Nope.
Yeah, no, there isn't. So I appreciated that they interjected like
pretty
that
fucked up.
Lola Bunny as like the female character,
Yeah.
and she was like awesome. She's the only one with actual basketball skills, which was like pretty great.
Where
Though
did
she
she
was like
come
so
from?
sexualized, I was like, ouch.
Well, whatever. We can do what we can be good at basketball and hot. Like no big
I know,
thing,
but,
yeah,
like-
I know what you mean.
Yeah. There was some like strange sexual jokes in here.
There were
We'll
a
go
lot.
into it, and it like made me uncomfortable.
I know. It was weird. I guess we can go into it, though. We should start getting into it. This is a long intro. I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yep.
What's
It's time for the Sweety synopsis. Yeah,
Sweeties.
I had a quote, but my notes are over here. Let me find it. Oh, here it is. Suffering succotash. They are monsters.
You been practicing? Practicing that?
I was going to try to do like a good Daffy Duck, but it's just not in me.
Yeah, it's hard. All right. Michael Jordan is, well, the film starts off. He's in his sweet little dirt yard playing basketball. And he's great. He's great. And his dad's like, wow, you're really good at basketball. And he's like, yeah, I am. And he's like saying all this stuff. When I want to go to UNC. I want to go to the NBA. I want to play in the Olympics. And
He basically
then I wanna
predicts his
play-
entire career. I mean,
And
what
then-
do you know?
Yeah. And then I want to play baseball. I'm like, listen, you greedy little motherfucker. Like, calm down. But,
Well,
like
did you
said,
find-
it all happened.
Did you find that ironic? So I'm assuming that is all real, like his dad was a baseball player?
Oh, I'm sure he was, but I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think that as a little kid he was like, I want to
No.
do exactly like.
Oh,
I doubt
definitely
that.
not.
I doubt that.
But did you find it funny that the dad was like, all right, baseball. Now that's a real sport.
Well, that was like his
Like,
dad's
are
game.
you kidding me?
That's
No
why-
way.
Well, he retired. When he retired, his dad had died like 3 months ago.
Oh, no.
So-
Definitely. I just find that funny that anyone would ever say that like baseball is more of a real sport than basketball. Like,
Oh, well,
You're
that's
out of your mind.
that's a very like old timey man thing, like the classic American game, whatever, the greatest game, blah blah blah, thing like that. Basketball's too fast for some people. They need the like relaxing, the baseball, slow, whatever. So okay, cut to whatever. They show all the clips. We all know what happens next. Basically everything that little Michael Jackson said. Michael Jackson. I'm
Michael
gonna say that so.
Jackson.
I'm gonna
I
say
know.
that so many times.
why do they have the same initials?
I don't
God
know.
Damn it.
I'm gonna say that a lot, but yeah, he did everything he said he was. So now we are cutting to what is, I mean, in real time was 1993, but I don't know. I mean, I got confused with these videos that are like about the person but not, because it's like it's not really his family, but like they have the same name, so it's you know what I mean? It's confusing. It's like in television shows when the main character has the same name as themselves, but they're
Yeah.
a different character.
Well, I think it was 94. I think that he actually did leave.
It was 93.
No, I looked it up. I thought it was
Well, it's 93 when he started minor league baseball. So how could he have retired a year after he started minor league baseball? That doesn't make sense. Whatever. Agree to disagree. And then so he
1994, Jordan played for the Birmingham Barons. That's the stat.
Yeah, so he retired.
Oh, okay. That was the last year playing basketball that first
I'm
time. Okay,
assuming.
fine.
So he's like, listen, I'm going to retire from basketball. I've done all I can do. And I've decided I'm going to play baseball. And everyone's like, what? But okay, sure. And so they cut, Michael's playing baseball. It's a hilarious scene. And who knows, maybe this happened. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But the opposing team is so excited to like be playing with Michael Jordan that like the catcher's giving him like telling him what the pitches are, whether he should swing or not. It's so great. And Michael just like blatantly ignores his instructions, which I mean, you could have helped your average a lot if you listened, if you cheated a little bit. What did Angels in the Outfield teach us? You can cheat at baseball. It's fine. So he's not doing great at baseball. No. He gets panned, it's like, oh, this guy should go back to basketball. What are you thinking, Mike? And like all this stuff.
But people are really nice to him, remember?
That's what I mean. Like, it's just like, even the opposing team was so nice, and his team was like, you did so great. You struck out again.
Well, I mean, it seemed like they just, like, remember, because the manager's like, let's just keep Michael happy, like, no matter what. Was it because he was, like, such a draw?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and so. Like, people came to the games to, like, watch him.
Yeah.
And it was like,
I mean, they are probably huge fans of his, too. So it was just, like, this crazy thing.
Yeah.
So so it's the manager of that team, the Barons, who sicks Newton on him. Right?
Yeah. Newman.
And why Newton? What am I doing tonight? It's my sickness. It's
got the bug. It's the bug.
Ill. He's like an assistant, or like he like why does he like attach him to Michael Jordan?
I guess. Remember, he's just like, whatever Michael wants, like, we got to keep him happy. Like, he needs to be the happiest person.
Yeah. So he like drives him home or whatever, and he's really excited about it, but Michael's like, this guy's kind of weird. So now Michael's playing golf. Actually, let's go back. Let's go up to space for a second. So in space, which is like not real space, but Toon space, there is something called Moron Mountain, which is like an amusement park for these weird space monster alien things. But it sucks. No one wants to go there. It's like the worst place ever.
Did you think the mini space monsters look like the like weird things in Ursula's cave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't at the time, but they totally do.
Right.
Good one. So the guy who owns Moron Mountain, Mr. Swackhammer, good name. He's like, we need a draw. We need something for that people will come here for. So they decide to kidnap the Looney Tunes and bring them to Moron Mountain to like as a draw for the crowd. So they go to where did the Looney Tunes live? Acme Acres, or is that Tiny Toons?
Yeah,
now
but
I'm like, is that real?
Earth.
Okay,
on Earth.
Earth, but in the Toon world. So they go and they like kidnap Bugs Bunny, and then they like hold this meeting where they're like, we're gonna get you all. What do they say? What do they say at that meeting? They're like, attention, Toons.
Yeah, well, they're just like kidnapping
You are
them.
now
They're
our
gonna
prisoners.
enslave.
Yeah.
And they're gonna enslave them.
Yeah, yikes. So to like kind of save themselves, they're like, how about we challenge you to a game? And they land on basketball because these little monsters are so tiny. They're like, of course we can beat them at basketball. So the monsters agree, and then they're like, what's basketball? And then they watch a couple of videos, and they're like, we need to steal some talent. So they go to Earth, and they go to a couple NBA games, and they steal talent from Charles Barkley, Larry Johnson, Muggsy Bogues, Pat Ewing. He's obviously a Pat. They kept calling him that.
Obviously a Pat, totally.
Didn't they call him that?
It's Pat written all over him.
They were like, Pat, you okay? And Sean Bradley. And they take their talents and put them in themselves, and then they become these gigantic monsters who can barely fit on a basketball court to begin with. It's too big. They're too big.
Right.
They're just way too big. I'm sorry. But now the Looney Tunes are like, fuck, what are we going to do? So Bugs is like, I think we need a little help. So now, cut back to regular Earth. Michael is playing golf with his best buds, Larry Bird and Bill Murray. I hope they're really friends in real life. That is like all I ever want,
Yeah,
I think
like
that
a lot
would
of
be
fun.
amazing. I mean, maybe not Bill Murray, but like, are Michael and Larry BFFs for life? I don't know. They should be, right? I hope so. That'd be really nice. They were on the Dream Team together.
I'm sure they're friendly.
Well, yeah,
that Dream Team was cool.
Yeah, that was the Dream Team.
Man, that was so awesome. The U.S. was like unstoppable in basketball.
USA.
USA. That's in like Michael Jordan's Wikipedia. It's just like gold medal, gold medal, gold
Yeah,
medal.
yeah.
Every time he played, it was like, wow,
Of course.
you're good.
He's very good. So Michael gets a hole in one because Bugs Bunny uses like a magnet under the thing and like puts the ball in the cup. So Michael bends down to take the ball, and then Yosemite Sam's whip like comes and pulls him down. And I love that scene where Bill Murray's like, "What kind of camera is that?" He's like, "Give it to me. Don't point it at me." And he like throws it to the side. Ugh. Bill Murray only has like a few moments in
Oh my
this, but
God,
they're all
so good.
great.
Yeah,
And I don't
they're
know if
amazing.
I appreciated them when I was little, you know? Like I don't know if I had full understanding of Bill Murray at that time. And I'm really
Oh, yeah.
sad about it.
He was the best part of the movie for me.
Oh yeah.
Far.
100%. And also Larry Bird and Bill Murray are like, all right, well, bye. And then they just like get in their golf cart and like go away. They're like, he'll be fine. Like, you guys, his shoes are like, he got pulled, he got sucked in a hole and his shoes are just lying on the, I don't know, like whatever.
No,
They
no,
don't
he
care.
has cleats. Didn't he have his cleats on?
Oh yeah. Why did I think
He
his
had
shoe
shoes.
came out? I don't know. But yeah.
No, but he didn't have his basketball shoes.
Well, they're
They
not
needed
bothered.
to get them.
I know. You're skipping ahead.
Sorry.
So they take Michael, and he's like super confused about it. But I'll give it to him that, you know, he believes it pretty much immediately, and you know, there's not a lot of resistance there, which I appreciate. He's not like I must have been knocked unconscious. Like this isn't happening, right?
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, okay. So they tell him what they need, and he's like, I don't play basketball anymore. And I'm like, Michael, you just quit like 2 months ago. Like, suck it up. You can still play basketball, you weirdo.
He's moved on.
Oh my God, get over it. You're not good at baseball. So then the Monstars show up, and they're like really mean to Michael, and they like smush him into a basketball. And
Okay,
he's like,
that
"You
part
better
was
not do that."
crazy.
That was really
I like
gross.
thought he was dead. I'm like, what
Well, he
the
should
hell?
be. He should have
Is
known
this
it.
movie gonna keep going on? Because he's not a cartoon.
I know, but he's in the Toon world. It's fine. That's why at the
okay.
end he was like, "Why didn't you wait? Why'd you wait so long to tell me that I could like do whatever I wanted?"
Oh yeah, in the hand with the
Even though
basketball.
he should
Okay,
have
yeah.
known because he got turned into a basketball in the beginning. Like, did he forget that? Maybe it was too traumatic, so he blocked it out.
Yeah, totally.
But so after that, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna help you win." So he's like, "Wait, I need my basketball stuff." So Bugs and Daffy go to Michael's house, wake up his sweet 3 little children, and get all of his stuff for him. And they're like, "Your dad's playing a game for us. He'll be back later." And they're like, "Okay." Basically, they're like seeing Santa Claus, right? They're so
Yeah.
excited. They're like, "Is this real life? Oh my God." That little girl is so cute. I love
She's
her.
so cute.
So then he's got his gear. He's like, "Let's start practicing." Like you said, none of the other Tunes know how to play basketball except for Lola Bunny, who is this was her first appearance. So they obviously made her up for this movie. I don't know where she comes from. I don't know why she's like amazing at basketball and like what's going on.
So
there.
modern looking.
Yeah. But she's the team, basically, her and Michael. And then they
Well-
just bring like all the other Tunes in too.
Well, it's like I thought that was going to be like some sort of training montage, but basically it was just like glamour shots of like like Michael Jordan like doing like slam dunks.
That's all they need.
And I was like, this is pretty awesome, but like, why don't you fucking train your team? Like, what is happening with that?
You know, that's a good point. I guess it'd be kind of like silly because
It was like such gratuitous like basketball shots. I'm like, okay, this is like overkill.
Yeah.
Go,
MJ. So it's game day, and meanwhile, little what's Newman's character's name? Stan.
That sounds right.
Stan is like on a wild chase to find Michael because he's got a baseball game coming up. We gotta go. So he's like digging the hole. They don't show how he gets to Toonville or whatever. Like that's just kind of, they're like, we'll let the audience come to their own conclusion. But he gets there. He's like, "Mike, we gotta go back and play baseball." And he's like, "I'm helping my friends," which good for you, Mike. Good for you.
Yeah.
Staying, supporting them. You gave them your word. Stick to it. That's great. I love that. It's time for the game. Wow, it's tough at first. You know what? This is exactly like how Little Giants was, where it was like they were so bad that they just get like clobbered in the first half, and then there's like halftime and everyone's like in a body bag and they're like, "Nope, this is over. It's done." And then there's some like pep up speech, whatever, and then they go back. So that's basically what happens. The first half, wow, clobbering time.
Rushed.
It's just like not fair. Like, how is that That's not fair. Like I said, they're giant monsters, and they just step on people and then just like place the basket in the hoop. Like they don't even have to do like anything.
Right. So they
Really
were just
hard.
slam dunking it like every time. That's all they did. But then you're right. All they would do was just like pig pile on people who had the ball, and like that was it. I'm like, is this how you play the game? And also
hell?
like Marvin Martian,
Foul?
like the worst ref ever. Like he wasn't calling like any of those fouls. Hello.
Can he see anything in his weird helmet?
He was
I
so
don't
cute.
know.
And then you have like the whole arena filled with like Looney Tune characters, let's say. Not like super specific ones, because basically
No.
all those ones are on the team.
Right.
So they like filled them in. Like at one point it looked like the guy from the Lucky Charms box, and I was like, what?
Well, they said something about that in the trivia where they like only used like real tunes, but then just like multiplied them a bunch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's like, so on the team though, it's basically every Looney Tune that you know, right? So
Pretty
Tasmanian Devil, check. And I love the part where they were like announcing who was on the team, and they're giving like their stats, and they're all like at 2'3", like,
Which is
really
like
cute.
pretty impressive. It's
Yeah.
like a tune being 2 feet. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
it blows my
So
mind
you've
a little bit.
Tasmanian Devil, Lola Bunny, Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, Michael Jordan, obviously. And then that's like the starting lineup. But then you see like throughout the game, like Foghorn Leghorn comes in, Tweety Bird. How's he gonna
how,
play?
Okay, how can he
The
fly?
Granny,
I love the granny. She's a cheerleader
Yeah.
though.
Pepe Le Pew. Who was that witch?
The tune witch. I don't know. Yeah,
who
yeah,
she
yeah.
was.
Who was that little mouse?
Yeah, who was that little mouse?
Never
I don't know.
seen him.
So some seemed like really like side.
Porky.
I mean,
Porky.
Oh, Porky
Elmer,
Pig,
Elmer
yeah.
Fudd. Yeah.
Elmer Fudd,
Sylvester. Wow.
Yep.
There's so many when you really.
Oh, there
start
are.
thinking
There really
about
are
it.
so
You're
many.
like, damn.
Yosemite Sam,
Yep.
Roadrunner, obviously, Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, so they're all basically there, and they're all taking turns, but they are getting like clobbered. So, as Sweety said, there's a inspirational locker room speech by MJ. Really, his face in the team is going to pep him up. Says, "Guys, I've been here before. You know, as any good like team leader." And then kind of makes up this like magic water thing to basically like convince them that like they have magic powers too.
It's like Felix Felicis and Harry Potter.
Yeah, yeah. So they start playing really, really well, right? Because they're like just believing in themselves. And then
They like they get close. They're like,
but then wait, and then is that the part where like he basically like makes that really like deal with the devil almost?
oh yeah, he's like, here's a new plan. Like if we win,
Oh, because they discovered why the
Oh, yeah,
monsters have the powers, right? Because Newman like sneaks into the locker room and discovers that they
Overhears,
took the
NBA
powers from the NBA players. But it was like, why did they let him go to tell
Kill
like his team that? I thought they weren't going to kill him, but I thought they were going to like tie him up or something. I don't
It's
know.
not like they can do anything about it. It's not like
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't like
I mean,
affect.
they
anything.
did burn him pretty bad.
They
but-
did, but he can't die because it's a kids movie and it's cartoon. So
Right. So MJ finds out that like all the really good basketball players, his friends, have all lost their powers to the monsters. So he makes basically this deal saying like, okay, if we win, we get the powers back, you know, the basketball players' powers back. If you guys win, I will come to Moron Mountain, and I will be your slave. So then he's gonna like chain Michael Jordan up and like make him basically like an attraction, and to, like make him play like 1-on-1, and he's always gonna have to lose. I mean, like basketball player nightmare. But he believed in his
And
team so much.
human
I almost started
nightmare.
crying. I was very emotional. Well, I was like,
At what
hello. He's like sacrificing himself.
Aw, that's sweetie. Heart of gold over there. Yeah, so that's the new deal. So, and I forget like what the points are at this point, but basically they're close to winning.
It was
except-
76. They were at like 77. And the other team was at 70. They were at 75. So
Okay, so they're very close. They need one basket, and the Monstars have basically killed like everybody on the Looney Tunes team, and nobody can really play. So they keep needing to like find people. So finally, he lets Stan play, and then they need one more person, or they have to forfeit. And who should waltz in but Bill Murray? Another plot hole because he didn't know anything about where Michael went either. unless somebody came and told him that this was happening. It was very sudden.
Well, remember he makes that joke. He's like, "Oh,
yeah.
my friend's the producer," and I just
They're like, "How did you get here?"
A Teamster dropped me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like
Ivan.
broke the what is it called? The fourth wall or something like that.
Ivan Reitman is the producer, so Ghostbusters is Bud. So, and the Danny DeVito, the monster's like, I didn't. What's Dan Aykroyd doing here? That was funny. So now they have the team and they just need one basket. And so Michael's like, here's the plan. Give the ball to me and I will get it. And this is when he finds out that he can basically do like whatever he wants. So he kind of takes the ball and then flies like not even from half court, like further than half court, and does like a crazy fly soar to the basket and gets it in, and they win. Woo! It's great. It's great.
But he did use a lot of teamwork, which was I really appreciated that passing
to get him the ball. Yeah.
So it really was like a team effort. He like got it in at the end, but like they really needed the whole team there, which was nice.
Yeah. Desmond, you can't come up here because I'm recording, honey. Oh jeez. So they won. Everything's great. There's that nice moment where they have like a heart to heart with the Monstars, and they're like, "Why do you let that douchebag like boss you around?"
They did not use the term douchebag. I want everybody to know, but awesome.
I'm paraphrasing. God,
I know, it's funny. I just think it'd be funny if they did.
Yeah. But they're like, well, he's bigger than us. And they're like, was bigger than us. And then they're like, why are we? And so they get rid of him. And they're like, hey, can we live in Tunesville with you or whatever? And they like don't want to go back to Moron Mountain. It really stinks. So that's nice. So now they're all friends too. It's kind of like how Michael is friends with all his like former enemies on the court,
right?
But now he's like friends with them all. I like that a lot. So then they hitch a ride back on the spaceship. They drop Michael off at the game. No big deal. Everyone's like, cool. This checks out. And he plays again or whatever, and then decides to go back to basketball. Because
again, another super emotional moment for me.
Oh my god!
When he came out of that spaceship. Oh my god! When he came out of the spaceship, I teared up. I was like, oh my god! I believe I can fly. And like the wife was like, yeah, and, like all the kids and the son's like, yeah, dad.
I mean, why isn't anyone freaking out that he's coming out of a spaceship? I feel
like he should have come out in the basketball uniform. I feel like that would have been like almost better.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Because it would have been like, fuck baseball. Like, this is who I really am.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm quitting.
Yeah. I got emotional. I got the emotions.
Oh, sweet. So yeah, that's the flick, man. And then the NBA basketball players get their powers back, and all is good. All is good in the hood.
And then they're like, oh, like Michael, like want to play a game? Michael's like, nah, like, and they're like, oh yeah, you probably don't know how, like you like retired, blah blah blah. And then they show him like going back, because it's what really happened. He came back and played for the Bulls, so they I think they show that the real clip of him like coming back. So once again, this is like the fucking biography of Michael Jordan with like Looney Tunes thrown in there. I mean, who would want a biography with Looney Tunes?
Maybe it really did happen. Who are we to say?
What?
We weren't there.
Don't ruin
whatever
it for me.
Okay, super important question. Which is your favorite alien monster when they're little?
Okay, so I wrote this note down
big,
because one of them, Moron Mountain Little Things, has the Sweety voice. Did you like catch that? The like little tiny one who talks like this. But I also like the dumb surfer one.
Oh my god, I love the Valley Girl one.
Oh my god,
so much.
So great.
It like hurts my soul.
Yeah.
And I agree. Yeah, my favorite.
It's the blue one,
really tall one.
Anyone who remembers, and right because it's a girl, a Valley Girl when she's small, but then when she's big, because it's like so big, it's more like a surfer dude voice. Because it's like tall and the voice gets lower. Yeah. But that was awesome.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Love.
Second most important question. Have you ever driven or ridden in a golf cart?
I don't think so.
Me neither. Why have we not done that?
I don't know.
It seems like it'd be really fun, and I want to do it. So let's make that 2019 goals for Sweeties.
How do we do that?
I don't know. We have to play golf. We'll go with Grammy. Okay. Drive her around. We'll be her caddy.
Guess I gotta start playing golf.
The Legend of Sweety Vance. It's the new flick. New hot flick.
Netflix.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just start. So because you mentioned it, unfortunately, I Believe I Can Fly. So I'm sure you guys are all hip on the news, or maybe you're not. You should be. But there's this huge bombshell because they've released this documentary called Surviving R. Kelly, which goes into detail about kind of what he's been accused of, and what he's done. I mean, let's be honest. He's done all that shit. He hasn't just been accused. But it's pretty real, and a lot of people are like, OMG, even though it's been, rumors for several years. But they talk a lot in that documentary about this song.
Wow.
And
is this like his biggest song, would you say?
Yes. And so he was known up until this point as being like a very dirty, all his songs were about sex. All of his performance was very sexual. He wasn't someone that like you would play in church choirs. Whereas this song, like they were singing it in church. All the kids were singing it. It was like an inspirational thing. It was part of Space Jam, which was like this huge thing. So it really revitalized his career in the 90s. And then, as you remember, after that, he went on to make several very popular music when we were in high school, which and just kept going. So this was responsible for like a lot of that, unfortunately, which I feel like he could have like died peacefully, like with no one ever liking him anymore, had it not been for this song.
I know.
Whatever. And after watching it, I'm very like, ooh, I hate that song now. So it's too bad.
I know. I mean, like I said, he's basically like a rapey trash bag. Like, I get that, but I think it's a beautiful song. I mean, and it's used.
It is, but I think
used quite well in this movie, I would say,
Yeah.
and it is very like inspirational, as you said. But what about the Seal song? Also used quite a couple times in here. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah. So he does
it's
a
the
cover.
Steve Miller,
Yeah, so he does a cover of the Steve Miller Band song "Fly Like an Eagle," which is quite fitting for Michael Jackson as he Michael Jackson. I said it again. Oh my God, Michael Jordan as he soars with his like that classic MJ pose with his like legs open, dunking. The silhouette that's on the shoes.
Yes. Oh my God, huge.
So I like that song.
I
forgot about it.
Yeah, when it came on, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I need to like dip into Seal again because really I like a lot of his songs. It's like so smooth and awesome.
I know.
Yeah, that was great. And then, as you said, the Space Jam, Jock Jam. I don't know if that's what you call it.
The opening song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a cover of "That's the Way." I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That other one, the Smart Stars theme. You hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high. You hit 'em low, hit 'em low, hit 'em low. There's that song "Basketball Jones," which is the song that's playing when all the NBA players are like, "Well, who am I now?" And it's really sad. Oh, that's actually, let's talk about that. So that's one of my favorite parts of this movie is when the NBA people lose their talent, let's say, and they're all of a sudden like in the middle of a game and they like throw. I love when they throw the ball to Patrick Ewing and it just like hits him in the face and they like show it on the replay like when Mike's watching television like on the news or whatever. But I love that scene. I think it's really well done.
I really like when they got possessed. I feel like Patrick Ewing did that really well when he.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, when he got possessed, he's like, whoa, and he's like,
he's like, how do I dribble this basketball? And he takes a foul shot and like it's like over the hoop. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's good. But I love that. And then there's this great part where Charles Barkley's just like wandering the streets. He's like, what do I do now? What do I do now? And he watches a bunch of cool girls playing basketball. And he's like, and this girl comes, she's like, you're Charles Barkley. And he's like, can I play with you? And they're like, hell yeah, you can play with us. So he starts and he's not very good. The girl like steals the ball from him, blocks a shot. He's like, and she's like, you're not Charles Barkley. You're just some like imposter who looks like him. Yeah. And I'm like, girl, it's obviously Charles Barkley. Like, have you been watching the news? Like they lost their talent. But it's funny. And I love that. I love it a lot. And I just like all those scenes where they're like, they try going to a psychic. And
so when they were at the psychiatrist and like they get all these tests done and stuff like that, and like the psychiatrist is asking all these questions, like he thinks like Charles Barkley's dreaming about, because does he mention the alien thing or something? I forget. But anyway, so then he's like talking to Patrick Ewing. He's like, Patrick, like, are there any other areas where you feel like you've like lost your ability to perform? And Patrick Ewing turns around and he's like, what? No. Like, what place does that joke have, like, in this children's film?
Yeah. I mean,
I ask ya.
and there were like some others that I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, interesting choice.
Interesting choice of jokes.
So did you so remember when we talked about Roger Rabbit, I believe, is when we talked about how they try to get Bill Murray to be in that movie, right? And that's where we go on that whole, like, here's how you book Bill Murray.
Oh, yeah.
You, like,
Yep.
call this weird number, leave a
Yep.
message, like, send something to a mailbox. So because he was so pissed, and he only found out that he was considered for the role through, like, a magazine interview or whatever, and he was so mad about it, that's essentially why he wanted to be in Space Jam, to, like, redeem that that misfire, because it's another, like, tunes mixing with real people, right?
Right.
I thought that was funny. Good throwback to an earlier episode.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, he was great. And I wonder how it was, like, acting in this for him, because you really had, like, other than Newman, Wayne Knight, is that the actor's name?
Yeah.
Wayne Knight. Other than Newman, and then maybe, like, his wife, everyone else was, like, a non-actor. Like, all the sports people were, like, you know, they're, like,
Real.
trying their best, but, like, you know, they're not, like, really actors. And so you really had kind of Bill Murray standing out as someone who, like, even though he's, like, a comedian, and you're like, I mean, I know he's, like, a real actor now, but, like, that, like, really stands out when he's, like, next to Larry Bird, who looks like he's, like, you know, I love Larry Bird, but, like,
Listen.
looked like he was reading off of cue cards.
Leave Larry alone, okay? He was in his own movie, Celtics Pride or whatever.
I know. No, I love Larry. He's
I like
great.
that part where he's like, "Is it because I'm white?"
Yeah.
Michael's like, "No, Larry's white."
No, he's like,
not white. He's clear.
He's clear. Oh my God, I cracked up. He had, like, the best jokes. And then he had something about, like, hey, Larry, like, let's put our, like, our putt at 2. Like, I feel like we weren't, like, emotionally ready
Yeah.
to be, like, putting or
To,
something like
2.
that. Yeah. It's like
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Really good. You know, in general, I would say, like, the script was, like, not the greatest. I mean, you're dealing with, like, Looney Tunes jokes, which are, like, hit or
Right.
miss depending on, like, what level of, like, intelligence you have. Just kidding. But it's like Looney Tunes, like, has to, like, appeals, like, to kids in a lot of ways for, like, a certain reasons, but there is, like, a clever aspect to it. But I feel like they really leaned on the Looney Tunes being more kid-like than clever, almost.
Yeah.
Which I guess,
Agreed.
like, the creators of the Looney Tunes kind of had criticisms about this movie because of that.
Yeah, I saw that. They were like, it's totally off
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah, which,
Like,
like,
Bugs would
which I was
never,
like,
like-
no way. And then I watched this. I'm like, well, like, I could see they kind of were, like, low barring it for, like, a lot of that.
I mean, well, I
Their
thought the main
characters.
thing he was mad about was that, like, Bugs Bunny would like take matters into his own hands.
That was
and, like,
crazy,
I'm
dude.
like, okay,
What?
listen. Calm down.
Dude, like,
Get
stop.
off your Bugs Bunny pedestal.
Like, oh, exactly. Like, what the Looney Tunes are not that deep,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
But overall, I think, yeah, like, super successful. I would have been very excited. Well, I would have been, like, 13. So maybe a little too old for
Yeah, I think you're a little
Space Jam. So which is probably why I didn't see it. But, like, you would have been
Yeah.
10 years old. You've been, like,
Ugh.
right in the market
Yep.
for this.
Prime. And
I
I
wanna
played
say-
basketball, so I was like,
Oh, totally.
super into it.
I want to say that having the dog be named Charles Barkley was, like, the highlight of my life. Oh my
I love
God.
that.
As soon as I saw the dog in the doghouse with the name over it that said
Charles.
Charles, I was, like, cracking up.
I
I was
know.
like, Charles Barkley.
Clever.
Yeah,
Clever
loved it.
girl.
Loved it.
Very funny. What else? Anything else?
Guess how much Michael Jordan's net worth is?
Oh,
2019.
Oh
Yep.
my God. Oof. I'm so bad at these questions because, like, I don't realistically know, like, what a lot of money is. Like, to
Yeah.
me, it's like $1,000. But let's go 2.3 billion.
1.7 billion.
Woo! I was
Pretty
close.
close.
Getting better.
So
I'm getting better.
he's the third highest worth, whatever, African American behind Oprah, and then some, like, crazy, like, investor guy who has a
Wow.
ton of money or something.
Go
I don't know.
Mike.
But
Go Mike.
yeah, I mean, can you imagine having your silhouette on, like, everybody's sneakers? That's insane.
I know.
What if, like, there were shoes that were like the Dumases? Like, oh, you got Air Dumases,
Air Sweeties.
and it was like our Sweety silhouette on them, and like literally everybody wore them. How like bananas would that be?
I know.
I wonder like what his like
I don't know.
commission is on those shoes. You know, do you think he's still?
I mean, it's not just that, right? He had like a bunch of other stuff. Like he probably gets like money.
Well, he's
from
part
these
owner
still.
of a basketball team.
Yeah,
now,
part of a basketball team. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
Oh
so,
yeah. No, he's
Yeah,
cool. He's 55 years old now, MJ.
No, still
Which
looks
is
great.
which
Still
is
looks
I
the
like.
exact same.
Did I think he would be older? I guess
I thought he would. I
Yeah,
thought he was older.
I thought he was in his 60s, but yeah, I mean, he was so young. He was third in the draft when he was drafted in whatever that was.
Yeah,
80s,
which I'm
right?
like, what third? Who got picked before him?
I know, probably
Dummies.
somebody
Probably
else.
someone also good, but
Oh yeah,
yeah.
but
Most people like, duh.
yeah, fascinating fella. That stat about how he wore his UNC shorts was real.
Yep.
He always wore those under his Bulls shorts, which I thought that was like pretty cool.
Seems like it'd get a little.
Yeah,
little
and
hot?
he's
I don't know.
and he's 6'6", which I'm like, is that tall or short? I mean, I know that's tall, but like, did I think he was taller
I
than
always
that?
thought he was so tall that like he didn't even have to like barely jump to like dunk in the hoop. Like it always just it just always
Well-
seemed like he was just like tipping it in. I don't know.
But then like, how tall is Patrick Ewing? Because he looked really tall. He must be 7 something,
What?
or like upwards of 7. He looked huge.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
How tall? I have to do it with my left hand because I'm holding my computer up with my right hand so my cat doesn't sit on it. This is very stressful. Is Patrick? I could have just asked Alexa. Ewing. 7 feet. Oh my god!
Told ya.
You're
Yeah,
like a
I mean-
fucking genius.
No, but you can 7 feet tall,
Oh my
foot tall
God,
people
his
look
son,
like insanely
Patrick
tall.
Ewing Jr.
Well, does he play basketball?
Okay, he's 7'1". Yeah.
Whoa.
His son is 6'8".
Wait, Patrick Ewing is 7'1".
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Like 1 inch over. I'm like, oh my god, it's not what I thought at all.
Has there ever been a taller person?
No, I'm sure there is, but oh man, that's wild. Yeah, he was like crazy tall. Yeah, so I think that's all I have. We went over the songs.
Glad
check.
you got to
Check.
experience it.
Do you want to ask me who my favorite Warner Brothers cartoon is?
Oh, sure. Yes.
Did I already say it?
Nope.
Oh, well, I kind of did. Well, like, okay. Well, I like Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner. Like,
Yep.
the show, like the segment of the show.
Yes.
That's my favorite. I don't think they're like my favorite Looney Tunes though. But who is?
You seem like a daffy person.
You know what? I was just gonna say that. I really get a crack. It really cracks me up. Or I used to love the Pepe Le Pew ones, even though those were kind of like rapey. I thought those were like he was. I mean,
super rapey.
they were so rapey. I hope they don't show those anymore because they're like legit like sexual harassment in a cartoon. But yeah, those are fun. I mean, we used to watch those all the time. I just remember like that's totally Saturday morning cartoon style, eating my little mini box of corn pops. The fun. What are those called? Fun
Heaven.
packs.
I don't know.
Fun bags. No. What are they called? Like the little boxes of cereal that came in the
Just
pack.
like little packs. I don't know.
Fun packs. Anyway,
I don't know.
remember
You're
eating
always
my
trying to
little
make me
box
buy
of
those when
cereal
we go
and
to the
and watching my
supermarket.
Looney
I'm like, I don't want
Tunes.
those.
Which ones do you want? The little boxes.
What?
What do you not want?
You always try to make me buy those when we go to the store, and I'm like,
Well,
I don't need them.
Now
Well, they
they're
all-
dumb because they're like a spoonful of
I
cereal.
know.
Like there's
I
not a
need,
lot of
like,
cereal in
2,
those.
and they always
You
give
need
you
the whole
like
pack.
2 of the most boring
Ugh.
one. Like I don't need 2 boxes of plain Cheerios.
I know. Never enough corn pops. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Totes. Okay. All right. Well, good show. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Let's take it home, I guess, right?
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks guys for listening. Thanks for sticking with us through our hiatus. We promise, well, we hopefully promise that it won't happen again. And we love ya. And if you like us, come find us on Twitter at the Sweety Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Sent Us. Thank you as always for listening. Bye.